Good morning. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm Răzvan Popa. I'm coming from Romania, and I'm working for an organization called ADEPT. ADEPT is coming from Agriculture, Development and Environmental Protection in Transylvania. And we are a small NGO, about 12 people, but we have a lot of other organizations and other partners with whom we collaborate on different issues, on different challenges that we are facing in Romania and in our region where we are working. As I said, here are only some logos from some partners, but we are working with a lot of authorities, national authorities, also regional authorities, European authorities, private sector, other NGOs, and we are trying to find different innovative approaches for our transdisciplinary work. We are in a region of about 85,000 hectares. It's a Natura 2000 site. This was the first initiative of ADEPT. It's exactly in the center of Romania, as you can see it. It's in the center of Romania. And now we have extended our activities on about 250,000 hectares. It's another SPA for bird, Natura 2000 site, where we are also developing different rural development programs. We have very beautiful, and you are really invited also in our country. We have really nice hay meadows, landscape, cultural landscape. As you could see, we have also 5 biogeographical regions in Romania, the only country from Europe. It's really also a challenge from the point of view of farming system. A lot of wildlife, but everything what we have is because of the presence of the farmers. And in Romania we have about 3 million small farmers that are managing land between 1 and 4 hectares. And because of them and their extensive approach for the land, we have also this high nature value called high nature value areas. We have still traditional activities in the region. And also what is really very important, because we spoke about small farmers, we have this mosaical structure in the landscape where you have different types of management on very small parcels. And this is also a very big threat for Romania, because the land consolidation is stronger and stronger, and the modern techniques are also coming in. And this is not necessarily bad, because we're also now implementing a project that is looking also on this kind of engineering. How we should promote this kind of landscape, because in most of the cases they are identified as poor regions from the point of view of the economical income. And here is what we are trying to do, and to develop a lot and diversify the rural development programs to be able for the farmers to have also other types of income in their families. That means that they should not really rely only on agriculture. That's why we developed an interdisciplinary team in these 12 people. We are about 5 people that are working technical on marketing issue, policy, environment, and tourism. And that's why we, first of all, always, depending on what we have in contact with our farmers or with our partners, we are trying to look also on the innovation, because always when we are working the policy, it's told to us that our approach from the ecological point of view in most of the cases is costing also a lot of money. That's why we are looking also to put a little bit of innovation also in the part of research. As you can see, it was a live project, identify some dry habitats, very important dry grasslands in Romania. It was a methodology done from the office, and when we got in the field, it was 98% accuracy. That's why, but also together we tried also to work and adapt our methodologies on research, also with the ministry's approach, how they are approaching the policies, to be able to fit in also in our policies on the national level. We are also looking on how we call it retro innovation. That means that also in Romania we had really very interesting activities on land, also from the point of view of culture, but also from the point of view of ecological, that we call retro management, that we want to combine also with the new technologies, like this machine for cutting that we are studying since 7 years. We are doing really detailed research to compare this kind of management with the hand mowing. Also, from this type of activities, research, practical approach, discussing with partners and also with the farmers, we developed also agri-environment measures that have really impact on 30 communities. It's a butterfly measure that was the first one in Europe. But also, we have inserted about 195,000 old orchards that were not anymore important from the point of view of production, but very important view from the point of view of agrobiodiversity and and other species.
Excuse me.
Please.
I translate a little bit in Finnish. Can you put the previous slide?
Please.
Yes. Suomeksi vaan ihan jos ei ole tiedossa, niin toi AE Measures-otsikossa tarkoittaa ympäristökorvausta, eli siis meidän vaikka näitä perinnebiotooppien hoitotukia, niin AE Measures on Agri-Environmental Measures.
Thank you very much. I hope if I'm trying to speak because I'm a very fast speaker sometimes. That's why, but it was told I should speak slowly. Yeah. It's very hard for me. Please apologize if I...
Yeah. That is not a problem. I just wanted to say this term because I think it's maybe not familiar. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I just wanted to tell you also practical figures. This measure, the butterfly measures, has a budgetary impact per year. That means money that are coming into the communities, and 30 communities in the northern and center of Romania, 50 million euros. That's why I think this kind of money, in most of the cases, they are going to the small farmers. But because the small farmers have such small parcels of property, 80% from the money is going to the 20% of the farmers. That means for the big farmers, and 20% for the money is going to the 80% of farmers, to the 3 million. And that is where we are acting very active. That's why we are trying also to do innovation also in marketing. We developed the brand also for the services, but also for the products that you can see in the right of the slide. We are also participating to local and EU markets, developing very exclusive products, a jam with 366 euros, because we thought that it should be €1 for each, €1 and something for each day from the year, and it has also a sustainable concept in the developing of the branding. It was also presented in CL Paris 3 years ago as an innovation. We developed also smartphone apps for the services that we have in the region, but also a CMSA system that we are informing the farmers and what kind of measures from the agriculture point of view, what kind of opportunity for financing they are. Because our farmers are using very much the telephone and the shepherds, they are always 5 or 4 months per year remote, but they have the telephone, not necessarily these smartphones, and that's why we developed the CMSA system. Because it was mentioned also the direct connection between consumers and producers. This was the best example, a bicycle trail that is connecting all the villages that we have in the region with the communes. And we observed, and also the producer told us that the people that are coming and using the bicycle in our region are buying a lot of products direct from their farms. We are also involved in different association or confederation called the Peasants Confederation on national level, or other farmers association, to be able also to get information or to discuss with them different approaches before putting them in the policy. With the policy, we started in 2006 with the pre-aderation funds, when it was the first opportunity for the farmers to access these agri-environment payments. That we think it's really good for the farmers, because they are 2 times per year paid to the farmers, and it's helping also the cash flow in their family, but also the cash flow in the community. Because if the small amounts of money for each individuals are coming with 1, 2, 3,000 euros per family, in most of the cases this money are used in the community. For bigger investments, their money are going also, what is coming in Romania from the EU, plus the co-finance is going in other countries to buy new technologies and so on. That's why always when we have a problem trying to do this kind of mind maps, when we are looking at the regions or protected areas and what kind of opportunities we have. And depending on what kind of opportunities, we are trying also to find our partners, to find the knowledge, to find the expertise, and to do it. For the moment, we have 2 projects. Until now, we had a lot of projects with very practical approach. We observed that there are some hygiene problems and the farmers can't sell the milk, and it has a direct impact on the biodiversity. We developed milk collection points for them in their ownership and to the association. We observed that they don't have the capacity to work the land. We have written a project on the Swiss funds, and they got these machines that you have seen before, and they are using it now through the association. But also we are looking also to do a much more practical approach also in the policies, and from the agri-environment payments, now we are looking not necessarily on the management requirements, but on the results. And perhaps some of you have heard about this concept, the results-based schemes. That means that the farmers and the quality of their work, it's much more checked through the results, how many species, what kind of species, and so on. We have started now to do these results project schemes, targeting the hay meadows because they are really in threat in Romania, and we are losing them because of the policies, interpretation of the policies, and other factors. And we are now implementing, and this year we will pay about 90 farmers and about 200 hectares, really with a new system, and looking on the results, not on the management, how it is now. But also because we said about engineering, and to see how different fields are responding in intensive or in extensive landscapes. We have now this project called Staccato, and the title is Sustaining Agricultural Change Through Ecological Engineering and Optimal Use of Natural Resources. That means that also this kind of results, very science, where we have partners, we are the only organization, a small NGO with big universities, trying to take their scientific approach and results, convert in practical policies, but also to give it back to the farmers as a solution, if this could be for them. Also, concrete examples, the local and international markets. We have also a facility for processing because there are so many hygiene regulations. And we had done the facilities that is on the community level and is used by the farmers with the objective for them to sell it also in other shops or local markets. And they just get the number of the permit, and they can come with the programming and to work and to process their fruits and vegetables. Also farm visit and workshop, and also trying to add value also to the organic farming concept or other new concepts. Our brand that is really linked to the environment with the products. Also bringing old culture, it was also a very interesting experience to put hemp. Also small solar dryers that are not using the energy from the sun, and it's really good for small farmers because they can dry vegetables, legumes, or other herbals. Also help to adding value to the local products, to different methodologies of producing cheese, because in Romania we are producing much more fresh cheese and they are depending on the markets. Also information, a lot of information everywhere in the region, but also when you are getting in the region, you can see that you can have an information center, you can do different activities. We have also now tourist courses, and also because always when we were working with farmers, they said, you can't understand because you don't work land and you don't own land. That's why I adapt with Flora and Fauna International. We own now about 220 hectares, where we do also training facilities for farmers and children, plus also different environmental activities. We are promoting the local products everywhere, also international. Also different publication with the food safety authorities and Europe, flyers, maps, tourism activities, very simple. Visit the shepherd, and see how the cheese is done in the field. Visiting the bees. We are working also with the local action group, that we have also like a local action group on 8 communities. And what we are trying also, and it takes a lot of time, and as you know, in most of the cases, these are not financed. We are very active in all the working groups on the ministries level, also agriculture and also environment, also in the decision committees, but also in the consultative committees. That means that everything what is changing or opportunities, we are also aware of it, and we can really act when we get opportunity. We had also good results, and it's not only that we were appreciating between us, the team, we were also appreciated by the EU level, and we are really thankful for that. And we will try to continue our work more and more and much more to diversify also our activities, but also to have bigger objectives, because everyone is saying if you have bigger objectives, also if you don't get them, you will get much more near them. That's why we think that it's good to have this practical approach. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Razvan, for your very interesting talk. And here is our little present for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Please. Now some questions and comments for Razvan. It was really nice to see that how many practical things they are doing in Romania. Romania, I think, is a very good destination for, and very popular destination for many people from.
It is, and much more. And also the tourism activities in our region has increased in the last 5-6 years a lot. And now we are struggling also to not have also bad impacts on what we are developing. That's why.
I'm Stephen Van from the University of Helsinki. I was fortunate enough to visit the region there in Romania where you're doing this work this summer, and it was made a very nice impression. And what I've been wondering is, like, these cheeses that you've been producing in some of these pastures and in the villages there, products like that, I know that you're marketing them to tourists in the villages there, but is there any possibility for developing these into something that could be exported and raise even more, or some products with high commercial value in cities in other parts of Europe, for example?
This is a very big challenge for us because we have this communist history, and it's very hard to bring people together and work in associative forms. That's one. Second, they are not so open on new technologies, because we brought somebody from UK, have done trainings for mature cheese, because this link between market, it's very short and they need to sell it. In most of the cases, they don't get the price that the reality. This is one. Second, the quality, the first quality that the consumer is getting. I tell you an example, I worked also 7 years in mountain areas. A lot of medicinal plants and aromatic plants. Very good cheese from the point of view of content, but very bad from the point of view of taste. That's why we are doing a study now since 5 years, and we are looking also for funds, because what we wanted to do is to link the quality of the hay meadows or the quality of the hay of the pasture with the product. But this is needed different types of analysis. We have all the samples from the 7 years. What we are looking for is now this kind of analysis, and to see how we will link this with the cheese. But association, this is the biggest association, and the processing facilities, and the interpretation of the EU law for the food security and hygiene.
Thank you. And then one more question, or, yep.
Yes, it's Eija Hagelberg again. Not a question, but a comment. Yes, I was just thinking that it's a great work you're doing in your organization when you are starting from the management of the meadows and helping the farmers to look for the right measures to do these things, and then take care of the whole chain to the market. I think that's very important, that not just take one part of the whole chain, but think it the whole way and have this adult education. I think it's a great way of thinking that you have there.
Thank you very much.